What's up, volleyball fans? I'm Darren Tipton, and welcome to the VB Adrenaline Podcast. Our podcast, we will dive deep into the heart of the game, bringing you the hottest topics, prospects, and a buzz surrounding prep and college volleyball, especially the world of recruiting. In each episode, our crew will spotlight rising stars who are shaking up the national game. Plus, we will serve you the scoop on current events that have coaches and fans talking courtside. Tune in for the episodes that spotlight tomorrow's college stars, new trends in the sport, plus interviews that will keep you informed on the explosion that is volleyball in the USA. You can connect with us on social media, Instagram at vbadrenaline.com_ and Twitter at vbadrenaline. Be part of the conversation. Share your thoughts on your favorite players, prospects, and predictions by using hashtag VBAdrenaline. So grab a seat, volleyball fans, and get ready to dive into the world of spikes, sets, and serves with the VB Adrenaline Podcast. See you there. All right, everybody, welcome back. Another episode of the VB Adrenaline Podcast. With that introduction, like I said, you see a lot of those stars that we had with that intro making waves on the college scene, and they will be with this new recruiting cycle. But Darren Tipton back again, and third week in a row, we're able to line up a great athlete. And I have to apologize. I try not to go fanboy too often, but today I'm gonna have to. It's one of my favorites. So joined by ACC, was it Freshman
of the Year?
You can say it louder. Say it louder. Be part
of the year. Yep.
ACC Freshman of the Year, Nayelis Cabello.
Yes.
All right. You said your parents get upset when we say it wrong. I don't want to make your parents upset. So, Nayelis Cabello of Louisville, and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I have been waiting to have you for about 3 months, to be honest, but you've been a little bit busy. So goes way back, Freshman of the Year, and what a season. I don't even know. So many things I want to ask you. I don't even know where we start, but we're gonna talk about a lot of different things here today, from the season to the off season to your recruiting. But she just became you became a folk hero in the VB Adrenaline archives, from, first of all, how we met. And we met kind of auspiciously at the Under Armour All-American match. And so we'll just quickly go over that. And so we're down there covering that in your hometown, state, but hometown?
Pretty close. I'm right outside of Orlando. So basically.
All right. Well, first of all, how do you live in that humidity?
Yeah, you kind of get used to it, honestly. I didn't know it was that bad until I came to Louisville, and then I went back and I was like, oh, this is gross. But
yeah. Yeah, and I was there in January, and I thought that, but yeah. So we looked there, and so the short of it is, they're all week watching practices, and you energy, and all week are just bopping around, friends with everybody, talking the whole time, having a great week. Did you enjoy the week practice wise, and just everybody that you got to meet?
Yeah, no, I thought it was a really fun week. Also since I always played up, I got to meet so many new girls who were finally my age.
Yeah.
So that was really fun, and just being able to that's when I finally met Peyton, my teammate now. I finally met her at UA. So it was just fun to be around everyone and just play volleyball and just meet make new friends. So yeah.
Yeah, and so then we get there, and I don't know how the whole thing works, but we get to the match, and I didn't know as important as it was, but we get there, and then you hardly get to play in the match.
Yeah,
I know, and we'll skip over that. We're not going to go into why, but I'm hey, because all week I was texting the coaches because I like them. I'm like, hey, I like this kid. Okay, all right, I can see her, at the Ville.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we're excited to have her. So when did you get word that maybe you might get some early playing time for one of the top teams in the country?
Well, like we were like personally, like my spring, like just coming in, like I'm just a little bitty freshman. I'm trying to figure out how to play college volleyball.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like see the court like the way it's going. I don't know what's gonna happen. And then like we started getting into season, and then like we brought in Soph, and we had Reese, and we're like, well, we need both of them to play because they're amazing players. And then I was like, then Danny was like, well, I guess we're gonna do a 6-2, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm playing. So see how this goes. So that was fun to learn about.
Yeah, that was. Well, and I know, like I told you, Ellie, Glock, she came to our South Dakota event the very first year we had it when she was, I think, a sophomore. So I've known of Ellie forever, and with PK. And so I have a lot of connections to that program. So it's been fun to trace them. And so coming in, it's probably like everybody that's just, we talking to their coaches. They're like, hey, we expect everybody to be ready to go. And that's what they did. But playing Wisconsin then right out the gate.
Yeah. What a fun start.
Yeah. But I mean, such a huge event in Louisville, right? All the pressure around, that program. And then there's rumors of you may just start that opening match.
Yeah.
And then it's the true freshman setters going at it to start the year. And what the heck did you know that early on, or was that just like, hey, 5 minutes before?
Oh, that is actually true. We still didn't know what the lineup was, didn't know what was going to happen in the first game. And then everyone did their warm up. We were like in Jersey, like ready to go out. And then Daniel was like, okay, so actually you're starting. And I was like, oh, yay. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. Well, and is that just the way? I mean, would you have preferred it that way? Would you have gotten really, really nervous? Or
honestly, I don't even know at this point. I feel like either way, it was going to be like some kind of nerve. So it was fine.
Yeah. Well, and that's what it just seems like all year. That's just kind of how you really handled things. I mean, was it that easy?
I
don't mean easy, but
yeah. I mean, like it wasn't like thankfully like I had a great like support system, like the staff and like my teammates like all like gave me the confidence to like just like go out there and play like as a freshman, of course. So I feel like that was like what made it easier than like if I didn't have like that kind of connection with my like team and stuff. So,
but the way you played and the way you all played that night was crazy because you were the one who looked like a freshman, and the couple times you did, it was like that. You just were like, kind of shook it off. Yeah. So what was that night like? What was that night like playing? And, because the whole talk that night was about the other team, right? And it was all Wisconsin, and, Charlie's a great freshman setter and all this talk, but you guys literally stole the show that night.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, like we were all like going out there with like the mindset of like let's just like have fun. Like our team's like big things like let's just like when we play like we're having fun, then like that's when we're like at our best. And it's like that night we were like let's just like have fun, do our thing. Like we're in our city, we have the whole like city behind us basically. So like let's just like do our thing, and that's like I think what helped us like step up and like as like a whole team and like go into like new roles, like going like a 6-2. Like that was just like what we needed to like kind of come out.
Okay, cool, kid. That sounds good. Like, remember we talked about one of those ESPN interviews before? That sounded like that answer. But you, first college match, 5 minutes before, like, were you really that cool and relaxed? Or
no,
were you like, oh my God.
My hands were like sweating. I was low-key freaking out. Like, I was like, this is like happening. Like, my first ever match. Like, who would have thought? Like, cause, like again, like I'm like thinking like, oh, like I wasn't gonna play. Like that was like my like first, like not like my main thought, but like a possibility in my like just like to like get over with, like just kind of like get over that step or whatever. But like I was low-key freaking out, but we figured it out, and I'm just glad we figured it out.
That's what I thought was so good there because so many intense characters on that team that when you came in and just that personality was such a nice fit. So you top two, if not the top schedule in America. And so how was that? Because there had to have been some big growing pains for you. So the big national televised game at home, the huge win. Then was there an exhale and oh my God, I'm in college moment, like hit you in the face? I am a freshman, or how did it go after that first match?
Yeah, after that game, I was like, okay, this is serious. Like, there's like these are because like our team, I don't know how to explain it, but like our team isn't like we're not one of the tallest teams ever. So when I look at across the court, I'm looking at Wisconsin. I'm like, okay, these are huge players. So like after that game, I was like, okay, this is what like I'm dealing with. So like now we gotta like keep on going because there's no like turning back now. Like you're a big girl now. So
yeah, right. Yeah. Right. Well, so what did you struggle with? What was the biggest learning curve or growing pains for you during non-conference?
I think like for me personally was just like keeping that confidence the entire time. Like at the beginning, like before every game, I'm like low-key like freaking out. Like this is still a big game because all the games were pretty hard. Like there was just like no like there was no downtime, I should say, in preseason. So like I was just like kind of trying to figure out like how to stay confident, like how to give that energy constantly. Because like I figured out like my role, I guess, like on the team was like the energy aspect, like the personality. So like I was just like trying to at least like bring that out so that it didn't affect my play. Because like whenever I like get quiet or whatever, like that's why I know it's like I'm not gonna have a good game or stuff like that. So that was like my like biggest like I need to figure this out. Like good thing like we had that kind of hard of a preseason. So like when it came into like conference play, I felt better. But
so you guys go through and we go match by match and just talk about the pit, 1 and 2 and Stanford, the whole ACC, but we'll go through and I was at the last pit regular season match. Didn't go well for you guys at home. What was the locker room like? And I know you need to say, hey, we just were like, hey, shake it off. But what was the locker room like?
I feel like after that game, we were all like pissed. Like we were pissed off that like we lost again because like we were already mad from that like the first time losing. Like we wanted to beat them. Like who doesn't want to beat them? But like we were like we need, if we ever see them again, we need to like beat them. So like that was like our biggest talk. Like we just like knew that like we needed to all step up. Like there was like no like okay we lost, but like we like needed to figure out what we needed to change to go in there and win again like the next time. So
was it more like, because to me when I walked out and I've been open about this. I love both those programs, right? And those are hard all 3 times for me. Well, the first time it was on the Ocho, so nobody got to watch it. But the last 2 times that was hard for me to watch because I like some people on both sides, right? But when I watched that last regular season match, it was almost like they bullied you.
Yeah. I don't even know what like it was just like I don't know how to explain it. Like we were all like ready for that game, and then when we got there, it was just like, oh, like what happened? Yeah.
And I walked out like, whoa, that was something. And obviously I don't know the volleyball, so I don't know like the X's and who crossed and who shouldn't have, or your serves were too flat or too slow, or I don't, which is a great thing because I can't coach or say any who got out coached or who didn't, or like, which is good. I just know somebody like physically looked way better that night. And even the set they lost was like, they just kind of were like, all right, let's flip a switch and let's go. And you guys were like, whoa, nothing's working. And I left being like, whoa, when they meet again, this is not going to be good. And so then when you come back and you roll, and then to survive, I got to ask, the Northern Iowa match.
Yep.
Whoa.
That was a crazy game.
You if you guys were cats, man, you used all your lives that night.
Oh yeah, that game, you and I that was like they played amazing. Like they were not letting balls drop. They were banging balls left and right. I'm like, oh my gosh, like they would not give us a break to like breathe. But we like, thank God, we stuck it out.
Yeah, but what I mean, like, what did that? Okay, so as a freshman, like,
no,
how did that feel? Like, just tell me, like, okay, so I mean, because I'm pacing back and forth, 8-foot wide office here. Like, what is that like in that fifth set and down? And like, come on, you gotta be like, oh my God.
Well, honestly, that fifth set, I was freaking out because like there was like one play like that I could have gotten the ball but like didn't or whatever, and then I was like, did I just like lose the game for us? Like that was like my first out. Like I'm literally a freshman. Like no way I lost the game for these seniors. Like there's no way. And then like I like got out and I was like, okay, like I'm done. Like we're done. Yeah. So then I was like in the back like getting water because like I thought that like when Ellie went like Ellie and Reese went back in, like we were gonna, because I think that was like we were like 1 point up at that point.
Oh.
Or something like that, and like they were gonna finish the game. So like okay, like even like Ava Utterback, she was like, okay, like you're done, like relax, because like she could tell like I was low-key like freaking out. I'm like we like this is over. So I was like, okay, like I calmed down. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm getting my water, and I'm like drinking it, and I look up and I'm like, why are we still playing? Like what? Like I thought we were done. Like game we won. So then I'm like, Sophia, we have to go back in. Like there's no way. And then we go back in, and thankfully we won the game. So that felt like a lot of pressure was taken off.
That's what I want to know. And I get it. The coaches that talk about all the breathing and all the USA volleyball, all the mindset stuff. But I'm like, how do you not be like, oh,
I was like shaking like my water. Like, am I done? Like, can this be over?
I failed.
Yeah, like I was
like breathing.
I was like cheering up. I was like, don't cry right now. Like, it's not time for this. Like, go get some water. Get over it.
Send me back to basic breathing.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe, I don't know.
Oh.
Our athletic trainer, she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like, drinking water. I'm like, it's fine.
Oh, but then, all right, so then what do you do? Like, just be honest. This is good because, the people that say all the right stuff, then there's the real world, right? Like, those other 98.5% of the people who like, all right, so then you got to go in. So then is that where the deep breaths where you're like, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, just put the serve over the net. Like, just back to basic volleyball. Like, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So then you get out there. Then is it just like, what is it? What do you do then? Is it just like,
I'm like
one big breath?
Like breathe, but like also like now I'm like, okay, not any more energy. So like we can just try to finish this game because I know half those girls are tired. Like they've been like Debo and Cherry like on like jumping and all of them just going crazy. So I'm like, okay, let me just go back in there, bring my energy back. I'm like, yay, like faking it, totally faking it, because there's no way I'm like actually that excited to come back in the game at that point. So I'm just like, okay, just be happy and put the ball over the net and then just play volleyball.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and you can't think, I mean, I know you can't think that. Those negative thoughts, right? You got to erase them or it won't happen. But, you totally could. And then the whole Peterson family storyline, like, right? Like mom and sister. And I love, her mom has like been so good to us and such a great lady. It was like, that's why I hate the postseason. Like,
I know.
I'm more like
either. She was like, "Of course I'm playing my mom," and I'm like, "Yeah, Petey, you got it."
Yeah. Early in the day, it's like, "Oh yeah, great, they're playing each other," and then the fifth set, you're like, "Oh, one of them's got to lose."
I know, yeah.
Yeah, like this isn't fun, and no, that wasn't fun. I'm like, can we just get to the club season where like you just like, the coaches a hug and like everything's great, and postseason like one of them's going home, and 48-hour rule, you can't talk to them, and. Yeah. All right. So then, so you survive that. And then Final Four, everything's good. And then the crazy match. What did you learn getting thrown in with them? They teach you, because that can go a couple ways, right? Freshmen playing a huge role with a very experienced group of seniors. What did they teach you?
Like, honestly, like they like the confidence side of it, because like they were like they just always figure out ways to like to figure out like how to like bring my voice out, because like I was like of course I'm gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna tell Anna DeBeer what to do, like, or like tell them like what like how to do different things. So like they just like taught me to just like be more vocal and like just like in like tough situations, like talk, like don't like shy away and like kind of like hide away, like come out and like be like even more like aggressive with it, like in those types of situations.
I was gonna say, you said I'm not gonna tell Anna DeBeer what to do,
Yeah.
or is that something she taught you? Is that like, yeah, you do need to tell Anna DeBeer what to do sometimes?
Yeah, because sometimes sometimes she's like too nice to me, and I'm like, Debo, like come on, like tell me like the truth, like you know that set was bad, like just tell me so I can fix it for you next time, like
Right.
that, like those kinds of things. Yeah.
Right. But it shows a confidence in you, the coachability of being able to take it.
Yeah.
Right. Which she probably wouldn't have been in that position of playing if you wouldn't have been able to take that.
Yeah. Like just like I just like want to like learn so much from them. Like just like give me all you can like put in my brain like right now, so that like when you leave I like know what like I need to step up and like what roles I need to like step into once they're out. So
let's move into that quick and amazing. That's what used to be a fly on the wall in those programs, and learn those stories and those things. That's what I'm here for, right? The matches, yeah, that's great, but it's the day-to-day stuff of what you guys learn. So talk to prospects, recruits maybe don't know, they're playing their club ball, and what mentally is so much harder about college, the mental grind. What's so much harder about it mentally than high school or club?
I feel like for like high school and club, like you always have like more games to play. Like I don't know, like with like the same group of girls, like you're always playing together, like you're always together, you're together. But like once you go to college, you're playing with like a 23-year-old and you're 18 and you're just like, oh, this is a weird age group, like age gap. So like just like having to change your like mentality from like being like a little like not like childish, but like not like as serious, because like you're just like playing club in high school, like it's like fun, all fun and games. But like once I got to college, like having to like balance, like now I'm like doing at like serious school, like you're doing college classes, and then like you're actually like playing with like girls who have such like big goals and like want to go play pro after that like last season, and like just like having like change like my mentality from like being like, oh, it's like just volleyball to like, oh, this is volleyball, like we're like serious, and like having to like take in like kind of like the pressure of being like a freshman and like having to learn so many new things and like playing against such like bigger teams that like you're not used to playing. Like that was like my like kind of like that was like kind of hard for me to like kind of break down and like process. Like I need to be doing all that.
What about the people talk about the time commitment of being great, right? Like I know there's limited contact hours, practice, whatever, but just the extra film, the extra study, the extra reps on your own, just explain that to a high school athlete that just doesn't get it.
Yeah, like especially like we make sure that we get like our film time like every week, and like we make sure we get our like after practice, like we'll have like a hard practice, and then like you'll see like girls like getting extra reps after practice, like getting extra serving reps or like passing reps, and like whenever like I see that, then I'll like go in there and like get like extra setting reps like off the passers, just to, like have those touches. And then like when it comes to like film, like there's like some games where I'm like, I don't think I did that good, like let's try to break it down. And like that's like when I'm like hey Danny, can we have some film today, like just like talk to her about it and just like kind of break it down, just like kind of like feel better for myself and like know that like it's not as bad as I thought it was. That's like how I take in like that extra time.
I talked to a coach one time, and they said that athletes, just high school kids, don't get this, and they said, we used to lose prep prospects all the time because we'd say, well, why'd you end up picking that school, over us? And they would say, well, God, their campus was just so pretty, and it was so beautiful, in the trees, and they had a waterfall, and blah, blah, blah. And then 2 years later, they would come talk to us in the portal, and we'd we'd be the first ones they call, and they would say, well, why are you talking to us now? And they'd be like, hey, all I want to do is win. And would say, well, what about the campus? And they'd be like, I never get to see the campus anyways. Right. So explain that now, what that means to you after a year, about, it's not like you're walking around campus every day. Your lives at the facility, right?
Yeah. Like, personally, like, there were so many schools. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Louisville isn't the prettiest campus. Like, we're a pretty small, like, school, whatever. So, like, I didn't really, like, care about how, like, that looked, because I did want to win. Like, I, like, wanted to go to a program that wins and, like, stuff. And, like, also, like, the good part is that, like, our coaches and, like, talking to, like the players, like, I knew that, like, I'm gonna, like, do good here. Like, I'm gonna get trained. Because, like, not talking to, like, other athletes who, like, have gone through college and, like, all that, like, talking to them, they're like, yeah, I don't get coached. And I'm like, oh, like, we get coached every second. Like, we're always getting like told something, which is, like, I love it, because, like, I needed that. Like, I wasn't gonna go to school. It's like, oh, like, you can go do whatever, like, go set a ball. And I'm like, oh, well, can you help me out a little bit, like, something that helps and stuff. So, like, just, like, picking, like, just, like, talking about that, and, like, just, like, knowing that, like, I'm coming, like, not to, like, a nice fancy school. Like, I'm just coming to a school to play volleyball and do school. Like, that's all I cared about.
Yeah. And while we are on our other one, you brought up a great point. You're right. And that is, we talk about that in our Straight Talk Recruiting also, that you need to ask that question. If I'm not a starter, am I going to continue to be coached? And that doesn't happen at every school. And you guys are one, you're right, you are at one of elite schools for coaching. But and one thing, though, I do love about where you're at, I love the athletic village at Louisville, right? Like, it's a cool village with the baseball, the track, the football. In that village is a cool little athletic area. And the Louisville community is cool. But, like, you're kidding yourself if you say, oh, hey, let's who was it was one of the Texas freshmen last year joked, and they said, hey, let's go to my first football game for the school that I came so I could watch big football games at. It was their first time they got to go watch a Texas football game, right? Like, you don't go to 7 football games when you're there. Like, you guys had a great football team. Like, how many times did you get to just go over to Louisville football games?
We went, like, twice, I'm pretty sure. And, like, one of the times we, like, lasted, like, 15 minutes because it was way too hot.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, y'all got a job to do in a good way. These aren't bad things. So just, let's be real about them, right? Like, you are there to win, right? Get Final Fours and eventually get that national championship, right? That's what you're there to do. And that's awesome. So as we get ready to wrap up, what was it like? You take that break, right? It probably didn't seem near long enough because you were lucky enough to play.
Yes.
Right? Because it could have been longer.
Right.
You could have been longer, but you wouldn't have been happy. But what was it like coming back and seeing those empty lockers?
Yeah, it was kind of sad. Like, I mean, it was sad. Like, not kind of. It was literally really sad to, like, know that, like, we lost, like, such great players and people. Like, not, like, only player, like, people. Like, they were just so, like, loving, and, like, every time you see them, like, oh my gosh, hey, like, I haven't seen you in forever. When we just saw each other, like, the day before. Like, it was just, like, yeah, it was just really sad. And, like, it's, like, now it's, like, real. Like, before, I'm like, oh, like I'll see you, right? And they're like, no, like, I'm going to play pro. I'm going to a different school. I'm like, oh, okay. That's not real.
Yeah, what I tell you, the Instagram when Andy Beer did her goodbye and clean out her locker, like, no, we don't need that
at all. I was like,
those tears.
And they, like, finally, like took down, because, like, Sophia's and Charity's, like, and Elena's, because she was, like, right in front of me, like, their, like, things came down, like, to yesterday, and I was like, oh, put them back up.
Yeah, like, no.
Elena, and I'm like, oh, like, you're still here, like, come back, like, we want you again, like, please.
What is it like now coming back where you're, just a sophomore, but you're going to be counted on a lot more for leadership as one of the veterans of the team. What's that feel like? You know, you're going to have a completely new role, I'm guessing, as a veteran leader this year.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm pretty excited for like having to like have this like new like role of like just like being more like vocal and stuff. And like my like goal, like I was talking to Danny, like my goal like this season is to like be like more vocal and be like more confident in my play and like with like my teammates and stuff, and just like knowing that like I know that like I can talk to the girls more now, and like that like because this is a pretty like new team, like if we're gonna like really talk about it, like all the girls are pretty new, so like just like trying to create that like bond and like that like even more culture and to this program and stuff. So like I'm excited to just like come out there and just help everyone out and stuff.
If you got to mess around or build that connection with any of your new toys there on the outside, you got to.
Hello, Chloe. Yeah, we've been in the gym a lot this week and stuff. So it's been fun, like trying to figure each other out and like how to play with each other. Which I mean, we're all like having fun right now. Like this open gym is just to get back in the court and stuff.
That's awesome. Well, I am liking it. You're going to have a lot of the the Midwest feel. You got another. You have 3 of the former VB Adrenaline Midwest Battle participants. Not sure if you knew that or not, but you got a couple of those Iowa outsides.
Yeah,
going to be there. Watch out. I got a pretty cool T-shirt already designed for them. Yep, that's right. You already know you got a Cairo superstar there in the back row, from Minnesota. So you got I heard she got delayed because of a little blizzard.
Yeah, they all decided or her and Peyton.
Yeah.
To come in like later on because they were like it's too snowy. I'm like, stay home, do it.
They don't snow day. Well, the difference was where you had the humidity. It was like here, it was like 13 below air temperature. So you got to decide. You want that 100 degrees and then humidity, or 15 below air temperature?
I personally am a Florida girl till I die. Like the heat and the beach, all that, all year round, I am taking it. But because everyone asks me why are you going to Louisville, I'm like, volleyball. That's it.
That's right. Hey, you got a job to do, right?
Yep.
Your job's taking you to Louisville. Well, hey, you do get to experience that little horse race in May. That's pretty cool. Well, everybody, our guest, again, as we wrap this up, Nayelis Cabello. I get it right from Mom?
Yep.
All right, Mom. Now, you said not recognized near enough on the national level last year. Our back is hurting from carrying the load. So all you national people out there who know a lot more about volleyball than we do, you pick it up. You get her name out there. You're going to have a big year. We get you on one of those All-American teams, not just the ACC team next year. What do you say about that?
I'm down. I'm down.
All right. But heck with those awards. You just keep your amazing energy and attitude, right? And you'd be a great leader for the Cardinals because I think Adrenaline Podcast.
Thank you.
And everybody, we will join you again next week where we hopefully round up another great guest to talk with you about their experiences recruiting and in the college game. Until then, I'm Darren Tipton, and thank you, everybody, for joining us. Talk to you soon.